Caroline's betrayal blindsided me. I had no idea about her infidelity until it became public. The emotions I went through were something I wouldn't wish on anyone. Our marriage lasted 8 years, and before that, we lived together as a family. But as they say, not everything is as perfect as it seems. Before Caroline, I had ended my first marriage because I could no longer understand my wife. Shortly after, I met Caroline and believed I was starting fresh. Natalie, my wife's daughter from her first marriage, recently left her husband due to his alcoholism and came to stay at our country house. Caroline didn't work. My income was enough for us all to live comfortably. I managed used car shipments from Asia, a job that often required business trips to handle any issues that arose. Caroline took care of the home, and she was an amazing cook. Our house was always spotless and welcoming. I never missed a chance to compliment her, and always returned from my trips with gifts for both her and Natalie. No matter how far I traveled or how long I was away, I always brought home fresh flowers. Caroline was very close to her older brother, Samuel. Their bond had started in childhood, and she was always part of his friend group. His friends, David, Andrew, and Ralph, were notorious for their youthful pranks, and Caroline knew them well. When Samuel turned 30, he decided to throw a big party, inviting childhood friends and colleagues. The event was held at one of the city's best restaurants, a place with a strange but loud name, Voss. Before the party, Caroline asked me, "Honey, I hope you're not planning another business trip. Can we go to Voss for Samuel's birthday?" "Of course. I'm not leaving unless something unexpected happens." I reassured her. That evening, I put on my best suit, and we headed to the restaurant. The party was lively. We played games, danced, and laughed. Caroline stole the spotlight with her incredible singing voice, which wasn't surprising since she had studied vocals in her youth. But she wasn't the only star of the night. Andrew, a longtime friend of her brother, also turned out to be a talented singer. David amazed everyone with his dancing, and Ralph entertained with his sharp wit. Caroline danced with each of them, one by one. I didn't think much of it. After all, they had been close for years. By then, I had had a little too much to drink, but still attempted another song. Unfortunately, the alcohol did me no favors, and my performance was awful. The guests clapped, likely out of politeness, but Andrew seemed irritated. He stood up, cleared his throat, and loudly declared, "Friends, tonight I want to do more than just wish my beautiful woman a happy holiday. I want to confess, no, I want to declare it. We should be together. Enough of hiding our feelings. Caroline, leave your businessman and come be with me. I'm done with these secret meetings while he's away. It's time to settle this once and for all." The room fell silent. Caroline's face flushed red, then turned pale. She shouted, "What the hell do you think you're doing, you fool? This is my life. Don't you dare mess it up." Inside me, emotions raged like a volcano. I left Voss alone. The country house had been mine long before I met Caroline, and standing at my doorstep that night, I knew I was done with her, but I had grown attached to Natalie. I felt a strong connection with her, and I knew I'd try to stay in touch, especially since I had no children of my own. Caroline didn't return home until the early morning. She couldn't meet my eyes. After a long silence, she finally spoke. When we were young, Andrew and I could have been together, but my brother wouldn't allow it. He insisted Andrew should remain just a friend. Despite all these years, Andrew never gave up. He secretly sought my attention, and Natalie found out. She threatened to tell my husband and kept her word. That's why I divorced the first time. I fought with Natalie and didn't speak to her for years. We only reconciled recently when she stayed at our house. I told her I had nothing to do with Andrew anymore, but that was a lie. Her voice trembled as she continued. "I've thought about this all night. How can I fix this? You mean so much to me. Natalie sees you as her real father now. Please forgive me. I'm done with Andrew." But at that moment, whatever love I had for her was shattered. I couldn't forgive her. Like her first husband, I could only say one word. Leave. That was the end. Caroline moved in with her mother and had to remember what it was like to work for a living. Years passed. I stayed in touch with Natalie, and we became close. As for Andrew, He divorced his wife right after that night, but happiness didn't last long for him. Work problems took over, and his personal life fell apart. Caroline tried to come back to me several times, but once a traitor shows their true colors, there's no going back. Her attempts were in vain.